Success doesn't come from a lucky break or a chance encounter. It's earned through a combination of mindset, action, and resilience. There are certain habits that successful people have cultivated over time, things they've learned never to do. And if you're going to make a meaningful impact on your life and the world, you need to adopt these principles. The first thing successful people never do is avoid responsibility. The modern world is full of distractions, excuses, and opportunities to shift blame. But here's the truth: no one will care about your excuses. Life will not bend to your will just because you're upset or inconvenienced. Successful people take full responsibility for their actions, their circumstances, and their outcomes. They don't look for someone to blame when things go wrong. They look at themselves, identify what they could have done differently, and move forward with that knowledge. The ability to take responsibility for your own life is the most powerful tool you have in your arsenal. Successful people understand something most others don't. Success isn't handed to you. It's not a result of waiting for the right circumstances or hoping that things will fall into place. Success is built on taking responsibility, taking ownership of your life, your decisions, and your actions. When life gets hard, when you face obstacles or failures, the easiest thing to do is look for someone or something to blame. We've all done it. It's natural to point the finger when things don't go as planned. But successful people refuse to fall into that trap. They understand that blaming others or making excuses only keeps them stuck in the same place. They know that when you take responsibility, you empower yourself. When you own your actions, when you stand up and face the consequences of your decisions, you unlock your potential to grow. The moment you stop blaming the world, other people, or circumstances is the moment you begin to take control of your life. It's the difference between being a victim and being a creator. You can't control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond. That's the power of responsibility. Life is unpredictable. Challenges come without warning. People disappoint you, opportunities slip away, and sometimes things just don't work out. But successful people know that how they respond to those situations is more important than the situations themselves. They take responsibility for their reactions, their mindset, and their next steps. They don't wait for someone to fix it for them. They don't wait for the perfect time. They get to work, they adapt, they keep moving forward, even when it's difficult. Taking responsibility also means being honest with yourself. It means owning your mistakes and learning from them. It's easy to make excuses, to justify poor decisions, or to rationalize failure. But successful people don't hide behind excuses. They confront their mistakes head on, figure out what went wrong, and use that knowledge to improve. They know that failure is a stepping stone to success, but only if they take responsibility for it. When you take responsibility for your life, you begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles. You start seeing challenges as chances to grow. You realize that success is within your control, and that's a powerful thing. It's about standing up, taking charge, and making things happen. Every day is an opportunity to take responsibility for your future. Successful people understand that life is not a random series of events. They live with purpose. Purpose isn't something that just happens to you. It's something you create, something you define. It's the fuel that propels you forward, the foundation upon which every decision is built. Without purpose, life can feel aimless, like you're wandering without a map, hoping that somehow, eventually, you'll stumble upon something meaningful. But without a clear sense of purpose, you'll never truly tap into your potential. When you have purpose, every action you take is intentional. Every choice you make is rooted in what truly matters to you. Whether you're working towards a big goal or simply living your day-to-day life, a sense of purpose guides you through the noise, helps you stay focused, and allows you to navigate through the challenges. When the going gets tough, purpose is what keeps you grounded. It's what reminds you of why you started, why it's worth pushing through the hard times. People who live without purpose often find themselves drifting. They react to circumstances instead of acting with intention. They find themselves stuck in routines that don't bring fulfillment or meaning simply because they haven't taken the time to define what they truly want. But successful people don't leave their lives to chance. They consciously choose their direction, even when it's difficult. They know that having a clear purpose gives them the strength to face setbacks, to rise after failure, and to stay committed even when the path is uncertain. Purpose gives you clarity, and clarity leads to action. When you know why you're doing something, when you have a reason that is bigger than just the task at hand, your efforts become infused with passion. It's no longer just about getting through the day or checking off boxes. It's about moving closer to something that matters. Living without purpose leaves you feeling empty, no matter how much you accomplish. You may gain external success, but inside, you'll always feel unfulfilled because you're not connected to something bigger than yourself. But when you live with purpose, everything changes. The way you see challenges, opportunities, and even failures, they all take on new meaning. You start working towards something greater, something that aligns with your values and vision. Your purpose becomes the driving force behind everything you do, and that is the key to not only success, but a meaningful life. When you're clear on your purpose, there's no stopping you. Every day becomes a step towards something greater, something that truly matters. Life is tough, there's no getting around it. At some point, everyone faces adversity. Setbacks happen, obstacles appear, and the road to success often feels more like a battlefield than a smooth path forward. But here's the truth that successful people understand. Giving up is never an option. When things get hard, that's when the real work begins. It's easy to keep going when everything is flowing smoothly, when success seems within reach. But the true measure of your strength and character is revealed in how you respond when everything feels stacked against you. Successful people don't give up when things get hard because they know that difficulty is part of the process. They understand that every challenge is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to strengthen their resilience. Instead of crumbling under pressure, they face it head on. They don't let frustration or fear dictate their actions. They use adversity as fuel. They don't let setbacks define them. They define themselves by how they respond to setbacks. Think about the most successful people you know. Do you think they got to where they are by avoiding difficulty? Absolutely not. They faced their fears, worked through their doubts, and pushed themselves beyond what they thought was possible. They got knocked down, but they got back up. And that's the key. The most successful people in the world don't stop when things get hard. They double down. They look at the challenge, analyze it, and then take action. They break it down into smaller steps and keep moving forward, one action at a time. When things get tough, it's tempting to quit, to throw in the towel, and to let the situation overwhelm you. But that's the easy way out. The harder and far more rewarding path is to keep going. It's to remind yourself that failure is not the end. It's a lesson. It's the soil in which your success will grow. Every time you face a challenge, you get the chance to learn something new, to become better, to develop skills and mental fortitude that will carry you through future difficulties. The key is to keep your vision in sight, even when it feels like everything is falling apart. Stay focused on your goal and remember why you started. It's not the easy times that will define your success, it's how you show up in the difficult moments. When things get hard, successful people rise. They refuse to let challenges defeat them. They don't give up because they know that perseverance, hard work, and resilience are the true building blocks of success. So when things get tough, don't give up. Dig deeper, push harder, and know that the struggles you face today are the foundation for tomorrow's triumphs. Successful people don't wait for validation from others. They don't rely on the opinions, approval, or recognition of other people to define their worth. Instead, they understand that their value comes from within. It comes from their own belief in themselves, their abilities, and their purpose. Too many people make the mistake of letting external factors determine how they feel about themselves. They seek validation from their peers, their families, or their social circles, constantly measuring their self-worth against the expectations and opinions of others. This can be an exhausting cycle because no matter how much you try to please others or gain their approval, it will never be enough. There will always be someone with a different opinion, a different standard, and a different expectation. But the most successful people know that self-worth isn't something that can be given or taken away. It's something they create, something they define on their own terms. They understand that their value doesn't depend on someone else's approval or recognition. It's not about being liked, admired, or followed. It's about being confident in who they are and the journey they're on. They don't need external validation because they're already secure in their own identity. This mindset doesn't come naturally for everyone. In a world where social media is constantly putting out images of perfect lives and curated success stories, it's easy to fall into the trap of comparing yourself to others. But when you live in comparison, you are always measuring your worth against a moving target. One person's idea of success is different from another's, and constantly chasing that ideal leaves you feeling empty. Instead, successful people define their own path. They set their own standards, and they measure their success by their own growth, not by how others perceive them. Self-worth isn't something you should seek externally, it's something you build internally. It's rooted in knowing who you are, understanding what you stand for, and being committed to your values regardless of what others think. This is true empowerment. When you stop relying on others to define your worth, you free yourself from the shackles of insecurity and self-doubt. You give yourself the power to create your own future, to make decisions based on what's right for you, not based on what will earn the approval of others. So don't wait for others to tell you how valuable you are. Find that worth within yourself. Recognize your strengths, acknowledge your accomplishments, and embrace your flaws as part of your unique story. Your worth isn't something anyone can give to you. It's something only you can create. And once you realize that, you'll stop looking for validation and start creating the life you deserve. Your worth is not up for debate. It is yours to define. Successful people understand that the most important conversations are often the hardest ones. These are the conversations we tend to avoid, the ones that make us uncomfortable, anxious, or even fearful. Whether it's addressing a conflict at work, having a difficult discussion with a loved one, or confronting uncomfortable truths about ourselves, avoiding these conversations only prolongs the problem and creates more stress in the long run. Successful individuals know that avoiding the hard conversations doesn't make them disappear. In fact, it often makes them worse. They know that the sooner you face them, the sooner you can resolve them and move forward. Instead of avoiding conflict or tough discussions, successful people lean into them. They understand that growth and progress often come through discomfort. They recognize that having honest, sometimes difficult conversations leads to resolution, understanding, and stronger relationships. By addressing issues head-on, they eliminate the tension and uncertainty that come from unresolved problems. When you avoid these conversations, you give fear and anxiety more power. You let these emotions dictate your behavior, holding you back from the progress and clarity you need to move forward. But when you embrace these conversations, you take control. You regain the power to solve problems, address concerns, and build better connections with those around you. One of the reasons successful people don't avoid difficult conversations is because they know that honesty is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, whether in business, friendship, or love. Avoiding the truth doesn't protect anyone. It only creates a false sense of security that ultimately leads to misunderstandings and unresolved issues. Successful individuals value truth and integrity, even when it's uncomfortable. They know that open, honest communication is necessary for trust to grow, for conflicts to be resolved, and for clarity to emerge. These conversations require courage, but that courage is what separates the successful from those who stay stuck. Success isn't about avoiding discomfort. It's about confronting it, learning from it, and growing stronger because of it. Each difficult conversation is an opportunity to improve, to communicate more effectively, and to show leadership in handling conflict. Rather than seeing these conversations as burdens, successful people see them as opportunities for growth. The truth is, avoiding tough conversations only delays progress. It keeps you trapped in a cycle of unresolved issues and missed opportunities. But when you face these conversations head on, you clear the path for growth, understanding, and stronger connections. You develop resilience, communication skills, and emotional intelligence. So, next time you're faced with a difficult conversation, remember, don't avoid it. Embrace it. It's the first step towards solving problems, building trust, and creating a life that's truly aligned with your goals and values. Success doesn't come from avoiding discomfort. It comes from facing it with courage and clarity. Finally, successful people never avoid difficult conversations. In the age of instant communication and constant distractions, it's easy to avoid confrontation. But avoidance doesn't solve problems. It only delays them. Successful people tackle difficult conversations head on. Whether it's a tough discussion with a colleague, a partner, or themselves, they confront what needs to be addressed. They understand that growth happens through honest dialogue, not avoidance. The conversations you're most afraid to have are often the ones that lead to the greatest breakthroughs. If you want to be successful, you need to adopt these habits. Stop avoiding responsibility. Stop drifting aimlessly. Stop quitting when it gets hard. Stop relying on others to validate your worth. Stop avoiding tough conversations. These are the things successful people never do. And if you start avoiding them too, you might just find that success becomes your natural outcome.